welcome back to the Cat and Anna show. Today we have a special guest. We have invited Franz, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Sidney, who is a hypnotherapist as we are. And Franz, you have a niche, right? We're not getting into that right now because I just forgot. We need to know a little bit about you. So why did you choose to become a hypnotherapist? What made you go down that route? Because you've just told me that you were a DJ. So I'm like,
the past life.
Why the change in a past life? Long time ago.
I'm still a podcaster, so I haven't really given up.
yeah,
Yes, that was
true.
like when I was 18 years old back in Italy. I spent 5 years in a radio broadcasting area in doing
5 years.
That was my very first job. Paid job. I
Wow.
was actually paid.
You were paid. I would
you
love
were
that
actually
kind of
paid this
job.
even.
I was paid
Sorry.
for talking. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I want that.
Now some people will pay me just to be quiet because I talk too much.
I've heard that as well. I want that kind of job.
Masochist.
Yeah.
So I was actually a language tutor, Italian and Greek, for 15 years. But after a not so fun divorce, I found myself age 50. Oh, what shall I do with my life? I decided to do all these national career advice questionnaires to see what I was suited to do. And I really love gymnastics. So I was looking into coaching for gymnastics because I was a gymnast. I was a lover of Nadia Comaneci, who won 3 gold medals in Montreal.
I don't know who she is, but good for her.
Nadia Comaneci was an amazing gymnast, was the first one to get a 10, 3 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze medal. She was perfect, and she's still doing gymnastics. She's my age, just a bit older. She was amazing. So I was in love with her and always loved that. And my daughter was doing gymnastics. So I thought, maybe I should do some coaching for gymnastics. So I went to do all these questionnaires. And then it turned out from my own personal attitudes that actually I would be very suited to become a life coach. And I thought, well, actually that makes sense because for all these years, people have come to me to download all their problems and asking for suggestions. So I must be quite good at this already. So I did some research and got a year course, embarked this NLP performance coach course. After 1 year, I was a good coach. Excuse me. And I was working with clients and I noticed that many times the clients were not progressing as far as they wanted because they had these emotional blocks. It was deeper than NLP. I mean, I wasn't a top NLP practitioner, but it was deeper. There was something holding them back that coaching wasn't gonna hit. So I started to research what's going on, and somehow I found RTT. I can't remember which day. So when I found out, I was like, that sounds good. So I started to send my clients, if they could not get the breakthrough, I said, well, try the RTT I heard about because it seems to be the one thing that will get you moving because hypnosis will go deeper and will go into your subconscious mind. While when you're talking to me consciously, you might not be telling me the real problem, you know, because the tip of the iceberg. But when you're doing in hypnosis, you're a little bit more relaxed. And that's why after several months of sending people to Marisa Peer, then I was like, why don't I just do the course?
Yeah. Why don't I?
Light bulb.
Yeah.
Hello. So there we go. And I signed up in the summer 2017. I went to London, did a 12 days live, I did all the online course. Trained with and a lot of amazing people, learned a lot, made lots of friendships. With some are really, really friendly now. And since then I've been using hypnosis. And then last year I said, I need a little bit more, I need more tools. So I joined Mike Mandel Academy and I'm a graduate from now. So I know a lot more hypnosis now and a lot more about NLP, a lot more. And I don't know a lot about the courses, art therapy, all sorts. But yeah, there was that's how I ended up really helping people. So I now help people. And you have to excuse my voice. I'm always congested, so that's me. But I help people to overcome all these daily grinding problems like emotional sensation of being just stuck. You're stuck in this situation, you can't get out. Panic attacks, anxiety, overwhelm, in all sorts. It could be on a personal level, or could be the work they're fine by home, but not, or maybe the singers that cannot perform, all sorts. So they deal with a lot of books. And then recently I've been specializing a little bit more in entrepreneurs who are feeling that kind of, I know that I need to do this, and this, but I really can't. So I'm like, oh, why don't I help them as well? Because they're so focused on wanting that success. And maybe we are more aware of what coaching is, what NLP is, more than maybe, I don't know, the typical housewife sitting at home, she has no idea about coaching and RTT, but maybe entrepreneurs do. So that's really my big thing, is helping the people to really understand how their mind is working, so they can get this mechanism working in their favor.
Yeah.
Hope that makes sense.
And
yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
yeah, to us it does, but I hope, I bet it does to everyone else as well, because
I'm just curious, how did you go from Italy to the UK?
I know, right? So I was in Italy until 22. Then I started a mission for my church, the LDS church. I was in Athens for a year and a half, so I had to learn Greek. I love traveling. I was like, so excited. And then when I came back home, I was like, I don't really want to be in Italy. I want to be in a place where they speak English, because I wanted to learn the language really well. So of course, my mother tongue is Italian, as you can tell from my Italian accent, accento italiano. And so I tried America, but I couldn't go because I was halfway through university in Italy, and I'd done 2 years of graphic design in a very good school and 2 years of architecture. And I wanted to transfer my credits to Brigham Young University. But when I applied, I mean, this was years ago before internet, it was all complicated. And they replied after a month, and they say, you have too many credits. You can't transfer. You have to start a new course.
Oh.
And I thought, I should do a photography course because I love photography. And I've already done 2 years of photography with my design school. I was like, I should do that. And then somehow the whole idea of doing a whole 4 years university course on top of all the stuff I've done, I'm like, that's a lot of commitment. I didn't really want to commit. So I thought, I'm just going to go to England. I picked up my keyboard and my carton suitcase, as we do with Italian immigrant. And I went to England, which is like 3 hours flight, 2.5. And I landed in London on the 6th of May, 1996. And I'm still here, 2 hours from London. I haven't moved back. I'm here. It's settled.
Wow.
But you're
Never
Italian.
Oh, I can go for ice cream in Italy whenever I want. I think in Italy, because of a high tax rate, 70%.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Huh?
Huge bureaucracy. I mean, I won't begin to tell you how difficult your life is when you're in Italy and you're trying desperately to escape this world of bureaucracy and paperwork. It's terrible. Yeah. The French know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and I thought we had a high tax interest, but tax rate interest, I can't. We have 39%, so that's not really a lot compared to Italy.
I know, we have taxes, it's like weeds, it's everywhere. And in the end, I actually spent a little time in when my little boy was about to be born. I was about 34 or something, 2002. We went to Italy with my then husband for 2 years, and we tried, but after 1 year, we were desperate to get out because you were just hysterical every day, waking up thinking, what is the next bill that's going to come to kill me? Out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere, you have new bills. Woo, 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 woo. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
You become
it goes on and on and on. Eh?
It never ends. And so then I thought, I don't want to live like that. Say, far too hot in summer. We were in Tuscany. Far too hot. And then in winter, we have these thunderstorms. Oh my gosh.
Wow. And you mentioned Tuscany, and I did something. I need to ask you something later on about Tuscany. Anna knows what I'm.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Amazing. Yeah. Ask me anything you want. So that's how I became a coach, and that's why I'm in England and not in Italy. And everybody says, why not in Italy? You go there and pay the bills for me, and then you tell me. Choice of mine. Yes. It's just impossible.
Yeah, I get that.
True. That is
I
true.
could go on forever, but this is not the podcast about Italy.
No.
So.
But what about your business? Did you straight ahead did you go and create that business and only work in your business, or did you have a job beside your business, or did you just
Coaching.
yeah
Yeah, I've always been an illustrator and photographer, so I still work as such, and I still sell my photography. So they're still going. I have Etsy shops and Zazzle shops, all sorts. So I'm a very creative person, so I cannot just do one thing. Sorry. So I have lots of things going on at the same time.
yeah
I can't
But
just do
actually,
one
that's
thing.
nice, right?
Yeah, I'm always drawing. I actually have an art class for teens who are home educated, and they come here to my house. I have two free classes a week. They come here for 2 hours. We draw. I'm a Disney trained artist, so we draw, and I teach them how to draw properly.
You just keep pulling things out of your sleeve that you do. That's amazing. It's not just I'm just working in a factory, not to say that there's something wrong with that, but you come on, photographer, DJ, hypnotherapist.
It was fun. I literally
Yeah,
knocked on the door and say, "Hi, I got some drawings here," and took me inside. Hey, I've done an
wow.
apprenticeship 3 years there. That was good. I'm still friends with my friend. Hi, Moreno. I'll tell him to watch this. Moreno is one of the best Disney illustrators in the world. He's one of my colleagues. And so, yeah, it's a great place where they teach you really well. And see, I thought when I was in England that the school system is a little bit different from Italian one. And there are pros and cons in both. And a lot of people that GCSE art or even have a degree in art, but they can't draw. And I was like, how is it possible? How could that be possible? Or they have an A-level in Italian. And when I asked them a question in Italian, they didn't have any idea how to reply. And so I thought, oh, there is something here that we have to address about this. And I was a teacher in adult education, so I know the system, but adult education isn't the same. So I had to really discover what was going on. And I realized that a lot of teaching is about paperwork and vulnerable students and helping the disadvantaged and da-da-da. But the poor teacher is not actually able to teach the subject. As I found out when I was teaching languages, there are so many restrictions on all sorts of ministerial ideas. And so the teacher doesn't have much time to devote to the craft. And therefore, a student in a class of maybe 20, 30 doesn't have the time. And you will see students in a class that are literally holding a pencil like that.
No.
And
they
cannot, you can say what you want, but you cannot control something like this. You do not have a fine control that you have with that. And they insist, I'm going to do all of that. Same with home educated, they're not better than anyone else. If they have this habit of drawing like that, and they're convinced that the teacher was wrong, and you cannot get it out. So there are lots of little fine motor skills that you have to develop to be able to draw properly. And one is to understand how your elbow works. Your elbow works like that. It doesn't work like that. If you try to do a line, sorry, I'm going to put this back. Otherwise, my voice will go. But if you're trying to draw a line, you have to observe, right? Try to draw like that. It's going to be wonky because you're trying to move all this stuff. So if you start working with your own body and relax, do warm-up exercise, like as if you would do with like gymnastics, and you start looking like that. So if you want to do a curve like that, you have to use this joint properly. So all these small things together and the warming up, they really help to really draw properly. And so I started literally in September, and I got these people that, they could draw, but they had problems. But now you can see them, they're actually making a line that is a line. It's not like, and so I wanted to be really practical and give them a thing of actually getting better.
Nice.
And not just copying Monet. I'm fed up of copying Monet, Cézanne, and Picasso.
Yeah.
I hate Picasso. Sorry.
It's out there.
If I woke up in the morning and I look like Picasso, I would kill myself.
Yeah.
If I look like one of his drawings, if I look like a Simpson, I'll kill myself.
No.
How is it not to be in all the art galleries? Come on. He could draw in the beginning, then he lost it completely. I think he was like, he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm just out of this completely.
So the marbles were gone.
I want them to be able to draw something that they like. So you can draw for therapy reasons, you can draw to express yourself, you can draw to have fun, or you can draw to do something that is commercial and sells. Did you want that? Then it has to be blinking good. So you have to know how to hold the pencil, how something looks. If I give you a bottle and I tell you, draw me this bottle, you have to be able to draw that. Not what you think a bottle looks like.
No. Have you used drawing in your therapy sessions?
So not directly in the therapy session, but after the therapy, so after the hypnosis, there are some people who tell me they have this inclination of doodling, which I think is amazing. And so I tell them, okay, when you want to get this energy out, get a pen, get a pencil, get a brush, do these exercises. And journaling is very useful.
Yeah.
I'm an art therapy coach. So I'm a coach, I'm a therapist, I'm an artist, but I'm not an art therapist who has a psychology degree. So I can't. So I'm an art therapy coach. I'm qualified. So I can help people here and there, but I cannot tell them, oh, let's talk about your problems while you doodle. That's not my job.
With
Anna's doing the practicing with her elbow.
yeah, because I'm doing intuitive drawing, intuitive energy drawing, but I'm going to try that, Kat, on you.
When you're drawing, you have to use your body and your joints in an intelligent way, so you don't make so much effort and in the wrong direction. So it's like playing the piano. Would you play the piano standing up? I mean, some people can, but would you?
Yeah, no.
Would you play the piano with very long nails and keep them like that? No, you have to play like that. You can fight, you can say you're against the system, but unless you play properly with your position proper, you can't play properly. You can say, I don't read music, that's fine, but you're never going to understand a lot of stuff about piano because you don't read music. And I know because I play the piano and I don't read music very well. So I know my stuff. I know what the problems are. Yes, I play the piano.
Yeah.
As well.
Of course you do. Is there something you don't do?
I didn't say I'm very good. I'm about grade 5, 6.
Doesn't matter.
I was just going to say, that doesn't matter.
A piano for me is a way to channel my energy.
Yeah. Well, everybody can hit some, what are the words?
Notes?
I hit really hard.
Yeah. But it doesn't have to, it doesn't, if I do it, it doesn't sound good. And like, actually I can play a tune, but sometimes it doesn't work the way I want to play it, but not all the time.
But did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what counts.
Until I give up because it doesn't work. But anyway, but what about your clients coming to see you? About, you also have clients about coming to see you for procrastination?
So wait, because your audio is having a little bit of issue, so I missed the beginning. Can you ask me the beginning again? Because it just went. Sorry.
Yeah, and I have rain and everything, but it's quiet.
No, just
I have this neighbor that decides to do some DIY at this moment.
I don't hear that. But I had a person just before this, they had a really big motorbike right outside of my house. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't come now.
Not now.
So if you could just kindly repeat, so because I just missed the beginning, so I'm like,
no. Your clients, are they also coming to see you for procrastination? Am I right about
Not
that?
the main problem. I didn't have one that came just for procrastination.
Okay.
He probably procrastinated. He didn't come. That's what you expect in line with a character.
I just love your energy. So what do people mostly come to see you for?
So the next one that I have is Saturday. It's a person that has like a very complicated problem with their parents over helicopter parenting type, micromanaging. And when you're like 30 plus going 40 and your parents are deciding things and telling you have to call me on the phone twice a day, otherwise I get offended, your life is difficult. So lots of problem, relationship problem, which are now then cascading back to relationship with men and feeling always under pressure and never good enough, really good job, really high level, good degree, still thinking I'm never going to be good enough for my parents. So that's one thing.
So it's also a little bit of imposter syndrome.
I haven't done the session yet, so we will find out.
Okay, but yeah.
Now you have parents that are asking, and my 2 previous clients, they actually contacted me for their daughter, but then decided they need therapy. So I don't bend for. While we were talking, we're like, but Franz, I think I need therapy too. And I was like, okay. So we done that, another Italian bunch, and that was interesting. Lots of issues. I can't really disclose, but he was a really, really big guy in a big, big company. And lots of things happened, and he lost that confidence. And, he's trying to get the confidence back in making decisions. And then the wife, who is now an ex, but they're still co-parenting, had their own problems, and both have the smoking issue. So there were layers. So I work with them, and I said, you know what we need here is not a session. You need a program. You need a month of work with me. So we tackle this, then we tackle that. So we done one RTT session, and then we started to work in everything else to tackle their own specific issue, which I will not mention here, but all connected with parenting from his side, his mother. Very difficult. And also how they parent their own children who are now having issues. So it's really generational.
Yeah.
So we did lots of that, lots of NLP. We use tapping as well, because with Mike Mandela done a lot of tapping. And it really is amazing to get into the resourceful state. So good. I mean, she's like amazing. She stopped smoking straight away, losing the weight that she could not lose for 20 years. She just shedding away. Confidence is back. She was never able to speak up. Now she's you can see there's a testimonial. It's in Italian, no, in English. Put in English, although she's Italian. You will see the testimonial on my page. And so I recently have been doing that. And another one before them, she had terrible panic attacks. So she had not been home. I mean, she had not been out of the house, except for going to her mom in front for 4 years.
Wow.
And so we had a session in my house, because she found me on the internet, and she said, I want to work with you. And I said, what do you have? She goes, emetophobia. I said, what the heck is that? Emetophobia. I said, a fear of throwing up. Okay, it's a phobia. I
know someone who has that as well.
Yeah. And it was nothing to do with food, as always. So there are all these events that happen in her life. So she came here in a car with somebody, took her here. First time out in 4 years. She came here for the session. She was a bundle of nerves,
Yeah.
I gave her a Christmas bubble made of satin. She literally destroyed the bubble. She destroyed it. It was like,
no.
Had an amazing RTT session, had worked for a month, 6 weeks of work. Lots of Mike Mandel stuff, lots of tapping, resourceful stuff. And right after the RTT session, I said, you're now sorted out. We know what happened. You know why you're like that, and I cannot mention the reason why she had all these terrible panic attacks. She couldn't go anywhere. She could not go anywhere. She would just freeze. She couldn't queues. She couldn't talk to people. Any shop that she would go to, she would have to have 2 doors very close. Otherwise, she would not. So she was just home. So she spent the whole lockdown at home alone. It was terrible. And so, and after the session, I said, now we're going to go into the car. We're going to go to Tesco. Which is a nearby supermarket, literally 2 minutes from my home. And I took her there. That was the first time in Tesco in 4 years.
Wow.
We stayed an hour
Amazing.
in the shop, whole hour, went upstairs, got a cake in Costa shop, Costa Coffee. I went upstairs, went downstairs, went to look at the stuff, asked what's your favorite. And I said, how are you feeling? How's your breathing? Let's use the tapping now. And I taught her bilateral stimulation. It's from Melissa Tears, which if you notice in the RTT forum, I mentioned that because that should be taught by everyone. Bilateral stimulation is really getting yourself to focus on something else that is not your panic attack trigger. Hold an object in your hands, maybe a mobile phone, and you pass it from the right to the left. I know it's going to disappear.
And I've heard that as well.
And pass it, and it has to pass through the heart. And as you do that, you are so worried that this stuff will fall on the floor. If you're no longer
especially if it's your phone.
The black cat that cut you off and therefore you're going to die in 13 days, you can forget because you're so busy doing that. And so I taught her this during the session. We done all the tapping. We went to the shop. I just passed her something. I said, well, how is it? Do you like this type of pasta? And how about this pesto? And we were just talking about that. And she was fine. She had no panic attack. And so she was brilliant. She had an amazing session. And then after a month, she had organized all these trips and things. And then something very little happened. They canceled the trip. Somebody canceled the trip that she was going to have. And so she plunged back into the kind of feeling, what's going to happen now? She was feeling a bit, and so we had a chat. a little bit of tapping, and she was back to normal.
Wow.
And then after 2 months, she contacted me and she said, a small event happened. She went to Tesco again, and a guy had a heart attack in front of her.
Oh,
No.
In front of
oh,
her. And she had all these panic attacks in the past because of people being ill. I won't tell you more. And so the paramedic went and they blocked the door by putting some kind of curtains all around so people couldn't see this guy as they were pressing hard. You can hear these people pressing on the chest as they revive the guy who didn't die. And she was terrified because she couldn't go out. It was a nightmare there. And she went home as quickly as she can. But then she felt like, oh my gosh, is this all back to me? And so we talked about it. We did a special session of tapping and coaching and tapping. And then we measured. So we calibrated. It was 1 to 10 was 9. By the time the session was over, she was back to 1. She was like, oh, that's fine. I can cope with this. Thank you so much. And she went, and now she's fine. I keep checking it up every month and say, how are you doing? But she's great. She signed up her daughter to lots of classes. We're going out every day, going shopping, going to trips, go to different cities. Her life is changed. And literally 2 weeks after my session in the beginning, she went to her mother's birthday party, and the mother was so happy. She said, the biggest gift to see you out of the house after 4 years. She was so ecstatic.
Wow.
So for me, that's my thing, to just see people that like back again into life and just doing what we're supposed to do, and she now doing some training to get a job. It's all, her life will change because now she can do so much stuff.
Totally.
That's
And
very
imagine
rewarding,
being in your house for 4 years. Yeah, and imagine being in your house for 4 years, not wanting to go out.
That must have
Huge
been,
change.
and she's like very young, 21.
Yeah.
My
So
goodness.
just imagine all these friends going out and you're stuck at home because you can't, because when you go out, now you're terrified of having an anxiety. So you get the fear of a fear of a fear.
Yeah.
And in the end, you have to understand your mind will work to save you from pain. But if you give it one finger, the mind will pick up a whole elbow. And so the more you believe your own story, will I be hypnotized? Of course you're going to be, because you're always in trance. A person that suffers from panic attack is in a continuous trance. They believe they're in constant danger of dying. I mean, unless you're in Afghanistan with bombs falling on the Ukraine, bless your heart, you're not in constant.
No, not at all.
So who are you believing? You're believing a story that is playing over and over and over. So what we're going to do, we're going to disrupt the story, write a new story, and give you a different role for how you use your thoughts. So I taught her all about the theater that is in our mind and who decides who's in charge. Who is the person there? You are the movie director. When the actors come out, if you don't like the script, they change the script. You say, well, just go back from there because I don't want to hear that. Johnny, you come out. Because that's the cheerleader. All the cheerleaders say, I'm not interested in that. And every person, I can stand here and in 5 minutes become really depressed by talking about a series of problems that I had at age 45. I can start crying about them. I can feel very, very low. And that's what you do in counseling. You talk and you talk. Every Friday, 4 o'clock is Maria's day. And you talk and you get more and more stuck in this unresourceful state, which is all good if you want to talk. Go and talk to your friends. Why would you spend all this money? But in the end, after talking about it, you want to see, how do I actually want to feel?
Yeah, I actually do have a friend who has a depression, and she's been going to see a psychologist for years, talking about why she feels depressed, but not feeling like she's getting any tools to move forward. And she's at a point where she's like, why am I going? It doesn't help. And I've been there for years, paid month after month. So exactly what you said. You need to figure out why, and you need to change your story.
Yeah. And a friend is amazing for that. You can just talk to a friend and vent. But there's a line, that's a threshold where after talking about the problem over and over, aren't you not making it worse? Because every time you go back, and that's what Mike Mandel teaches, every time you go back to a memory, you change it. You're editing. Because to access that, the proteins that are in that part, I can't remember the part of the brain, of the neurons, that protein becomes a little bit malleable while you're accessing it. That means you can change it.
Yeah.
And I can prove this to myself, because if I read in my journal, I can see things that happened.
Yeah.
And I remember in the past thinking, oh yeah, me and my boyfriend split up because of X. And I go with this idea for years and years and years. But one day I'm like, I got time to waste. I go and read in my journal and I realize, oh, when me and my boyfriend split up, he had this problem. And then we split up. And it had nothing to do with the memory that I had built up over all these years. Nothing. I surprise myself every time thinking, how have I forgotten this?
Yeah. That's actually good that you mentioned that. That's the word of journaling regularly. It's not just writing down your what you're grateful for or what happened that day, but it's also to see the progress that you made or the thing that you got stuck in and that's repeating itself, or right?
Yeah, this cycle that repeats all the time. And
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone does this mistake of talking about this past all the time until it becomes worse. I'll give you another quick example. When my son was born, and was my first child, he was born in an emergency C-section in Italy. And just to cut it short, the whole thing was just terribly wrong. Everything went wrong that could possibly go wrong. So for me, it was very traumatic. And for him, because I died twice, he died 3 times. And they revived us. And we survived, unless you're talking to a ghost now, but we survived. He's now 19 almost. And so what happened there? After he was born, and I was like 33 something, I was like, I'm never going to have another baby because I never want to go through that ever again. The pain, everything, the way I was treated, it was terrible. And then I realized that for 5 years, I was talking myself into not having a baby by rehearsing over and over what had happened in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I told people what happened. And I realized that this memory was slowly expanding and becoming so bad that every time that I considered maybe having another baby, I could feel the anxiety coming in.
Yeah.
I could feel that I would never want to do that. And then I was not a therapist, but there was a point when I realized in 2007, I was like, this has to stop. You have to stop thinking about the past. He's now alive. He hasn't even died. He's alive. He's a lovely child, healthy. You are, looking young and healthy. Yes, it was painful, but your scar is not even visible.
Yeah.
And you have to stop thinking about this. And at that point, I was able to get pregnant. I had a dream of a little baby, maybe a boy, maybe a girl, sitting down there. And I woke up thinking, I ain't going to have a baby. 2 days later, my body said, ha, 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 ha. Yes, you are. I was pregnant. And so this wonderful girl was born. And it was a natural birth, no C-section. It was painful, but certainly worth it. And she's now my rock. I'm so glad that she was born. And if I had listened to myself with an old story or how painful it was, I wouldn't be having now an amazing 14-year-old girl sitting here in my house, being so amazing. And she's also a fellow illustrator. She loves art.
Oh, nice.
So you have to be very careful rehearsing the story, the PTSD over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Because the mind will change memories, will make them worse, and we will feel the pain again.
Yeah.
We will get that emotion bigger, stronger. And so we'll feel like it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And why do we have to feel like that?
We don't. And sometimes I also feel like, for me, and I bet for others as well, I tell myself that, and you wouldn't think that, but sometimes I tell myself that I'm shy, which is not true. If I go to a social gathering, I would be feeling like, oh, I better stay in the background because I'm shy. But why do I keep telling myself that? Because I've heard it tons of times, and I've told myself that as many times.
Yeah.
So realizing that sometimes we do tell ourselves stuff that really isn't accurate anymore. It once was, or once maybe it even wasn't. Yeah.
Amazing. The stories we tell ourselves, we believe them all.
Yeah.
So I always say to my daughter, don't say I'm stupid on this, because then your mind will believe it.
Yeah.
And do we really need that?
You know what? My son, he had a gym class, and the girls were against the boys in some ball game. And all of the girls felt like they were losing, and they sat down on the ground because they were losing. They weren't going to participate. And he told them, well, if you tell yourself you're losing, you're not going to win. So why are you giving up? Because I've said that exact same thing to him. So it's just amazing if we can put that into our children and they can spread it, because it is true.
The way we talk to ourselves is very important.
Yeah.
Remember, I've been 3 years with this guy, and he's in the States, and then he's very fit, 56, very, very fit. So he goes to the Senior Olympics every year. And he's in Denver. And he told me about this runner, a big, athletic, black guy with long, muscular legs. And when he ran, he always sees this guy with his huge legs. My boyfriend isn't the tallest, and this black guy is very tall, very fast. I saw pictures. And so he was saying, I saw him coming, and he was so big and so fast, and I just couldn't do it. But I know that he's one of the fastest guys in the States. He won so much. He just wins everything. And so I thought, And I think we were in the first year of our relationship, and I said, I'm an art teacher, a hypnotherapist. Let me tell you something about how you talk to yourself. And I said, when you are in the race, who cares about the other guy?
Yeah.
You're just gonna tell yourself, I'm the fastest runner here. I'm so fit. I'm so powerful. My legs are really strong. We have the fastest legs you can ever see. My muscles are just amazing. The oxygen goes to my legs with a proper speed. Everything is appropriate. Everything is brilliant. And you just focus on your own performance, and you visualize how you're going to be right there. And he won. He won the race.
Of course he did.
Against that guy.
What did he say afterwards?
He was very pleased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally.
If you don't believe in that, how on earth can you achieve it?
Yeah.
Because everything starts here.
Yeah.
Even if you're a Christian, you read the Bible, it says, in the beginning, there was the Word. And the Word was God, and it was with God. And the Word created everything. Wait, when they created with the Word. So they had to believe they could create. So if you're a Christian and believe it, if you don't believe, that's fine. But if you're a Christian, you will think, wow, God and Jesus Christ, they had to believe that they could do. So then all the parts of the universe would bow to them and say, okay, we're going to do, because you believe, so we're going to do. But if Jesus said, I might or might not help you to create the earth, or I might or might not go to earth and sacrifice, I might or might not go to the cross, how would that work out? They said, I'm going to do that. I believe I'm going to do it. And people believe in that. And because he was so sure, people were the followers because he believed in himself. And so I think he's a great teacher of believing in yourself. You have to think it. And when you think about it, you're creating a connection between two neurons. It's an electrical thing. You can see that in a CT scan or a brain scan. You can see that. And that is real to your mind, just like anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you keep repeating it, what's going to happen? It became stronger. And every time it becomes stronger and stronger until the neurons that are wired together will fire together, which is what Joe Dispenza teaches. Hello, Joe Dispenza people.
Yeah.
So I always teach to my,
love the guy.
my friends. I pick up my hair. I got really fine baby hair, just terribly fine. So I pick up my hair and I say, look, can you see this invisible thing? You can't. Why? Because it's a filament, it's a neuron. It's a connection between this, and I get two balls somewhere. I say, that's the neuron. I don't know. The shape isn't quite right. And that one connects to that one with a little hair. That's your thought, and you have it once. And you say, I'm stupid. I don't understand maths. When you think about this twice, so ding, another hair goes, wee, and it goes there, and it connects. When you think again, I can't do that exercise because I'm stupid. Ta-da, another. In the end, you end up having a connection that is very strong. The neurons that wire together will fire together. So every time you have a problem with maths, you will say, I'm not good at math. And the more you say it, the more your mind will find
exactly.
ways to prove you're not good at maths, because your reticular activating system.
Yeah.
It's there to do that. That's the job.
Why
So if you
can't
keep
I figure
repeating
this
it,
one out? Why
you
can't
will
I figure
believe
it
it.
out? Yeah.
And you will not understand because your mindset can't do it.
No.
So you have to break the pattern by understanding how your mind is working. Look at me. That's my mind. It's not here. It's outside. So
You might see your hair.
Yeah, a lot of my sessions are really, the pre-session is about educating the clients on the power of the mind.
Yeah, exactly.
How the mind works and how you can destroy your life just because you talk to yourself in the wrong way and you believe it. And that's what panic attacks are believing that something catastrophic is going to happen.
Yeah.
Giving stock into that, and then your body will physiologically react by creating a cascade of events that completely paralyze you, after which you're going to be terrified of the event, of the anxiety before the event, of a physical thing before the event. So you have 3 more things to worry about, which you have just created.
Yeah, and you're already looking into the future and seeing things that will most probably make you suffer or make your life horrible, or
you're visualizing that in NLP, that's called future pacing.
Yeah.
A future pacing should be done in the positive, like here I am, I'm giving this talk in the day of graduation. I'm doing amazing. I'm feeling nice. I'm breathing deeply. I remember everything. But instead, if you keep thinking, oh, on the day of a talk, I'm going to have jelly legs. I'm going to have a frog in. That's
of course you get
what you are preparing for, and your mind will do everything to prove you that you are right. Because the mind is designed for that. It will filter out everything that doesn't agree with your idea. So be careful what you think about.
Yeah, that's I was, before we came on, I was talking to Get about this. My daughter has the same thing. She is constantly telling herself that her life is horrible, that there's no luck coming her way, that she's suffering every day. And I try to tell her, no, you can train your mind into a different way of thinking, and then luck will come to you. And I've been doing that for years and I didn't have any luck. And I've been trying to tell her years and years, over and over again, how to go on with her mind. So what happens if people are so stuck in, how do you get them out of that?
When they're stuck, well, you have to look for secondary gain there. Because it's so good to have a label, isn't it? Nowadays, everyone has ADHD, everyone has a syndrome, everyone has this problem. We are so conditioned to think, oh, there must be a surgical solution for my problem. Maybe if I am filled with tattoos everywhere, I'll feel great. If I have a big thing there, I will feel amazing. I will be accepted if I cut off part of my body, or if I listen to that music, or if I paint myself black. But that's all external. What about the internal part? So people believe a lot of stuff. So when they are stuck in that, what are they gaining because of that thought?
Attention, attention, attention.
Yeah.
Probably something else as well. But
a lot of attention. You get a lot of attention from lots of chronic diseases, syndromes, conditions, and beliefs about who we are, who we're not.
Disorders.
I'm not going to go through certain topics, but a lot of it is heavy politicized. And the thing is, if you keep believing all this stuff, and because of that, you get a little group that sustains you, supports and encourages you, then you have the sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you lose that? There's no reason.
And we don't want that. We don't want to lose that group where we belong to.
Yeah. So let's say that you are emotionally eating. Because you have issues, because you were taught when you were young that when you are celebrating, you have to eat lots and lots of sweet foods. Okay, that's fine. So you eat and eat and eat. And then you go to maybe a sleeping group, maybe. You go to a slimming group and everyone has this attitude, oh, it's so difficult. It's so difficult.
I can't live without X, Y,
Let's say there is a toxic slimming group. or maybe not even a slimming group. They're just a group of friends, and they say, I got this problem. That's why I cannot stop. And that's why. And they have all these excuses, you know, and they're all kind of helping one another. Do they actually want to get out of a problem or not? Yeah. So their thoughts are stuck in that. And then they're home. Oh, don't worry, Catherine, you don't have to work because we know you have fibromyalgia and this and that. Well, she's actually morbidly obese, which is why she cannot move, which is why she feels bad. And that's why she also has fibromyalgia. Or maybe she has MS and lots of stuff on top of all the problem. And so because of this condition, she can't have sex with her husband.
Oh, yeah.
Can't prepare dinner and clean the house. She can't. Yeah. Can she or can she? In some cases, I'm not saying all cases, it's never, you know, everyone is different. But in some cases, we notice the person couldn't do something, but actually, deep inside, they never wanted to do that thing. And so the body had created this protection. So there is a secondary gain, what we call RFPI, role, function, purpose, and intention. It's called secondary gain in coaching, okay? Secondary gain. What would you gain from having this condition that is good? What is keeping you stuck? So I'm ill all the time, but then I'm going to get all the attention because my daddy will never look at me.
Yeah, you're so right. It's recognizable for myself, but also for my clients. It's totally, and when you go into a Facebook group, what's happening with the lighting here? Okay, never mind. But when you go into a Facebook group, you can feel that as well. You can see it in the way they connect, and it's great to connect. But wouldn't you want to connect on something else, like something joyful? Or
exactly.
Some groups are a little bit depressing, maybe very about depression and anxiety. But when you go and talk to them, you see they're really stuck in the fact it's impossible to cure this. I have to be an antidepressant for the rest of my life. That's very medicalized approach. How about curing it?
I've tried everything.
Yes, I've tried everything. Yeah.
You should know. I tried everything for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And also the word try. Mike Mandela always teaches you should never use the word try unless you want somebody to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
If you say you're going into hypnosis, close your eyes, deep when we did, try to open your eyes, try harder. You can't do it because if you're saying try, that must be difficult then. But if you say to a person, I will try to be there at 4 o'clock for that flight. Try?
No, don't try. Do.
I will be there. So that means you have to get your body out of the bed at 6 a.m., get your body in the car by 8, get to Heathrow by that time. You can't just say to the airport people, oh yeah, I will try to be there. You just have to make the effort and say to yourself, I will be there. So you do everything for it. And so the word try shouldn't be in our vocabulary. It really shouldn't be there. That's my opinion. Perhaps I
true, but that's true.
Quiet. As you can see, I'm very passionate, and I have my own excuses, so I can recognize it. I'm like, Franz, what have you been saying to yourself about this? And then I self-diagnose and you should stop saying the rubbish and get on and do your stuff.
Yeah. I used to say try so much, and then I learned you don't try, you just do. And if you don't do, then don't. But don't say that you try.
Yeah. No.
So I hardly use it anymore. Yeah. I do use it sometimes, but
so the answer to your question is when a person is stuck in a loop but won't come out, find out the secondary gain. But also there is a place in our life when we are ready to change. So back again, Mike Mandel teaches, but also Tony Robbins teaches. When a person is in such a situation that the pain of a current situation is higher than the pain of change, that person is ready to change.
Yeah.
So Mike Mandel says, when the person is on the threshold and says, this situation must change now, the change must happen now, something really has to change, and that something is me. Yeah. When they are there, they're ready for a session. Yeah. As long as they keep putting this responsibility to the society, to the teachers, to the mothers and fathers.
Exactly.
Nothing will change. We can only change ourselves.
Yeah.
So we can't change the circumstances, but we can change how we react. So
Yeah.
what is important for PTSD and everything is how we react, how we perceive the problem. It's not what happened, because you have people coming from Afghanistan, half suicidal, depressed, medication, half just fine, straight to work. Same event. So what happened there is a perception of, okay, what am I going to do now? Am I going to think the whole time about this? If I have a panic attack, am I just going to medicalize myself? Or am I going to go to therapy? Am I talk to a friend? And for some people, just breathe work, breathing.
Yeah.
That was immensely good. Immensely good. And they didn't have all these panic attacks and things. So we have to really discern where we are in this journey, decide, are we ready for the change?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any other question.
Okay.
Every question is an answer. That's forever.
Yeah.
I think I inherited from my grandma.
Ooh, grandma.
Very talkative Italian lady.
Well,
She could have been a DJ.
my experience with Italian ladies is indeed that they just love to chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
When
you don't
they
have to be Italian.
go, it's like, but it's
Quiet.
good.
You have to keep up because you talk really fast. But I love your just and your wisdom, if you like saying.
Yeah. And some people call me wise. I'm like, I'm not sure you understand.
The word wise.
No, but it's things that we do know, Anna and I as well. But the way you explain it, the hair thing, for instance.
Yeah, I love that.
That's
I'm
great.
going to steal it from you if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Oh, I'm so
And-
flattered.
And
Please
you
put the
said-
credit patented by Franz Sidney.
Yeah.
And you said something else that I forgot, which was great as well. You said a lot of great things, but something else that I thought I can use that, but not. I have to watch the replay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you ever watch yourself and may think, oh, look at me. I look so terrible in this video.
Yes.
I do.
I do as well.
I always watch our podcast and I think, wow, this is amazing. I never look at myself
Good for
saying,
you.
oh, that's horrible.
I look at myself and I said, listen to this silly Italian accent. Why didn't you make an effort to speak properly? You know English. Why did you use only the 70, 200 dulcet words? You know a lot more than that. I forgot all about that. So
I mute myself when I watch it. It's like,
Huh?
shut up. I mute myself. I mute the video or the podcast because, no, not the podcast because then that would be nothing. But I mute the YouTube. Yeah.
I can tell you one of the things that I use a lot, that I tell all my clients, is the RAS. You have to know about the RAS. You know what it is, the RAS? Reticular Activating System.
Ah, yeah.
In NLP, you have to work with that. It's like being a cook that doesn't use eggs and flour. It's like, good luck. The RAS is your egg and flour of hypnosis. So basically, the RAS is your reticular activating system. What it does, very simply, is it filters everything that you don't need. Because, 7 billion of information per minute. How much information? You'll be like, I can't deal. It's just too much. It's like going to a shop and you have 1,000 types of pasta, 1,000 types of white t-shirts. How can you choose? Just like, so you have to be able to go from A to B and not measure every step. So your brain will neutralize, erase everything that is not important for your focus. You have to be very clear on your intention. So if you go out to buy blue trousers, your RAS system is like blue trousers, and you will find those blue trousers because you are focused on that. And from my coaching book, one of the biggest or largest example, best examples, that's the word, best examples, is the guy who has been going to work on the same road every single day for years. Same road, drives there. One day, his wife says, darling, we're expecting a baby. We're going to be parents. And he goes, oh my gosh, Peter's so excited. Oh, no, we're going to have a baby. Then he goes to work. And as he drives to work, suddenly he realizes, oh, right here on the left, there's a nursery for babies from 6 months to 3 years. And as he drives along the same road he's on for 20 years, on the right, there's a woman with a pram. and just passed by 2 shops. There is a shop that has children clothes. And he noticed all this stuff he's never noticed before.
Yeah.
His RAS is now thinking, you're going to have a baby. You will need prams. You're going to need nursery. So he now sees what he's never noticed before.
Yeah.
That's also the cognitive bias, right? So if you tell the client, if you're looking for trouble, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
Because your RAS will do everything to prove you're right. So you're not here to convince the therapist that you are this and that. You are here to convince yourself.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah. So when the client is saying, today I'm going to go and I spend £1,000, £2,000, and I'm going to have this outcome with this therapist because I know she is very good and I'm ready for change and this is going to happen. Your RAS will pick up everything and say, see how good he was when he did that. See how well you went. It's finding ways to prove what you have forecasted and visualized and anticipated, creating your brain this amazing thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very hard. Even if the therapist was rubbish, but if you're ready for change, you would actually change. As Marisa rightly said. But in the other way around, if you go there thinking, this therapist, what is he going to do? I've been to 25 therapists already. They didn't manage to do anything. So I'm just going to go back. Which is exactly what's going to happen because your RAS will find every single thing that the therapist has done wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it on a plate in front of you, and you will think that's the end. Yeah, everything went wrong because that's what you expected. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, right.
So the pre-framing of a client before the session is so important. So you can prepare them to know what's gonna happen in a positive way. So the client has to absolutely believe in you. If a client has any doubt, he will not have the result.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's very difficult to have a result just like that. Yeah. If it happens, it could be against his own will. He's going to be so surprised. Oh, wow, this happened. But I'm amazed at the power of our mind to do that.
It's unbelievable. Huh?
Very believable now.
Yeah. Yes, true. You got me.
Yeah. Franz, do you have Zoom clients as well? Because you mentioned Zoom clients. Online.
Online, yeah.
Yeah, I have like 90% really Zoom clients.
Yeah, because you mentioned the woman who had a fear of leaving her house.
She actually
came to see you.
She's local, yeah.
Yeah.
My last free clients are from Italy, so on Zoom. So I had some locals and some on Zoom, but the majority I work on Zoom.
Yeah.
I think it's very relaxing for them as well because they are in a comfortable surrounding. They like the chair. They're comfortable there. Some get distracted because they have people home. But even here, you can have a tractor coming nearby and it's very noisy and will distract you. So, but Zoom works well.
Yes, it does.
I thought she could have chosen that option. So she was really brave coming to see you.
She decided to come in person.
Yeah.
And once we talked, she really believed we could make the difference. And the thing, she has worked with therapists before and it didn't work. Things will happen that brought her to have success. Because I told her, this is easy. I do this all the time. I do phobias all the time. It's so easy. You'll be surprised. I lift my hair and I say, this is what's happening every time. Yay!
I love it.
And I taught her. I taught her and she was like, And so when she came over, she was like primed to. And when she left, finally, when they picked it up, you're just breathing normally. She was and we took a picture together, which I can show you offline, all happy. And it was just believing that this time will be different and acting like it. So you are visualizing yourself in a position of being comfortable. This is going to be great. I told her some stories about other colleagues. They have worked well with phobias. I dealt with. So she thought, oh, it is possible.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing, eh? So where can people reach you if they want to connect with you? What's the easiest way?
But many ways, if you put Franz Sidney, Franz, SIDNEY.com, that's my website. So you can find links in there.
Yeah.
Or you go to Facebook and put in a search Franz Sidney. I don't think there are many with my name, or Franz Sidney Therapy. Then I also happen to have a YouTube channel.
Ooh.
It's probably Franz Sidney. I don't know. They actually isn't, because they give you all these weird names that is.
Yeah, true.
If you
true.
look me up, you will find me there. I do post on my own Facebook page, so you can find links there. So, but literally, if you don't know anything about me, just put Franz Sidney in Google, and you will come up with a whole page, podcast, everything. Or you can look up my podcast, which is called Create with Franz. And we are on episode 97, which I recorded today.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Almost 100.
100 episodes soon. I started in June, July last year. So it's about a year now. And my podcast started as a podcast to help people to unleash the artist inside them. But within 6 or 7 episodes, I've done it all. Now let's move to help everyone else.
Yeah.
Expand it.
Great.
And now it's unleashing everyone, so they can really create the life they want. Because really, life is about creating.
Yeah.
Which is why my company is called The Art of Living.
Ah,
Love that.
beautiful.
It's an art to
It
live
is.
well and to really we create our life and how we feel about it.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're right.
So,
Right. But if you want us to, we can put all of your links in the description of the video. Would you like that?
yeah, that's fine. I'm very happy, very grateful.
Great.
It was so good to have you.
Yeah. You
Thank
are
you very much.
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, your energy is just it's out there.
Yeah.
I know. I don't understand what's this thing about energy. I remember
Because-
one day I went with a client who has never seen me before. We just intake call phone.
Yeah.
And then we went on video. And as soon as I went on video, she goes, "Oh my gosh, you got a huge energy." I was like, "Oh."
What?
Really?
Where?
You're just charismatic and energetic, and I love it.
Well, thank you. Must be all the chocolate I eat. Sugar free.
Perhaps.
Could be.
Could be.
Tip.
Well,
Tip
thank
to
you.
everybody. Oh, sorry.
Give out great tips. That's okay. But thank you for joining. It's been a real pleasure. Pleasure.
You're so welcome.
It was.
I
And
spoke so
Anna,
much.
will you do
The like, follow, share,
subscribe?
subscribe,
and
hit
that
that
bell.
bell. Oh, every time I say hit that button, hit
Yeah.
the bell,
And go check out France.
and go check out France.
So guys, thank you so much for being in the show. If you like this episode, please share it with one of your friends and maybe somebody who needs to hear these words today. Just click below. Anything that happens below, just click on that and we'll be so happy because, more people will be able to hear this important message for you. Thank you so much and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Wow. Bye. Bye.